ಗುಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್, ಕತ್ತಲ ಕೊನೆಯಿಂದ ಬೆಳಕಿನ ಮನೆಯೆಡೆಗೆ.
Soldiery is a separate segment of activity which traditionally an average Indian or Bharatiya as such have accepted martyrdom, that is sacrifice of one's very life itself for the sake of sovereignty and security, preservance for the community at large. Today's soldier, exposed to largely irrational environmental situations, do run a great risk of losing their life for not very serious reasons other than sustaining the fortunes of the future generations of the country. To destroy the enemy who is against the sovereignty and security of the borders and preventing the development of social and economic status to benefit the future generations. They have a goal, they have a very clear goal. They are not just going and fighting for nothing. They are very well guided, they are very well trained, and they are very, very highly motivated. Their concept is the highest degree of patriotic fervor. That is what a soldier is driven with. Challenges for the youth is basically development of their intellectual ability. They have to not live on the status at which they are. They have to be equipped with skills of situation management of the changing world. Every moment changes occur. When you talk about global situations, the entire lot of people having their opinions talked about, a democratic value system having been spread across the world, today's youth faces greatest challenges of situation management without being aggressive, totally being tolerant. That is the challenge of the youth first. Second thing is for them to progressively advance their situation of life and lifestyles, which are becoming more and more and more scientifically oriented. It isn't simply talking about your wants and your likes and your dislikes and your needs, physical needs, etc., etc. Today's youth is more intellectually needing to grow deeper and deeper and deeper into conceptualization of the value systems. That is what today's youth challenge to today's youth is. Everyone is a soldier. You have challenges every day. In the case of an armed person or armed forces, his opponent is seen and heard by their actions and by their aggressiveness. Whereas in the case of a youth, he is a soldier of fortune. He is a soldier of mental development, conceptualizing the life values and lifestyles that he wants to make available for his next generation. That is what today is. Everybody is fighting a war within himself. He is every day thinking what to do next, how to develop himself more and more to enhance the lifestyles. Every day in my life from 1949 onwards, 49 November onwards, had been a challenge. I was exposed to aeronautical sciences as a young boy of just 16, not available to anybody else in this country. The equipments that were shown to me to play around with were not seen or heard by even the engineering graduates, but that became the lifestyle and challenge for me at that very age. Till finally I was exposed to actual professional flying. 1953 onwards, I've been involved in it. My thinking had always been on aeronautical sciences, aviation management, aviation development, aviation teaching, and aviation professionalism. Maintaining that. That is what I had been involved. And I had the fortune of having been exposed to aviation into such critical areas of Himalayan hills and valleys on the northeast, the most dense forests and steep hills. I was also exposed to similar opportunity in Leh Ladakh, wherein right up to Daulat Bigoldi I was exposed to almost on a daily basis, which I would never have had an opportunity of seeing or knowing, not to say about learning, unless I was with the Indian Air Force. In a tropical country like India, with severe southwest monsoon and the northeasterly monsoon, is a challenge to anybody who gets into the air. I've had phenomenal exposures to it, and I've enjoyed every bit of it, day and night. My career right through had been as a human being. Inspiration in this had been firstly my relationship with the parents, subsequently relationship with the professionals, subsequently shift over to a family life, and finally today to interact with the men and women of this country more closely and globally in general. I have enjoyed all these and considered these as a challenge at every time when I meet a new person or see a new situation. I live my life even today quite frankly as a challenge. to maintain even this body and mind, avoiding too much of decay itself is a challenge, and I find it very interesting. There indeed is a situation in the country today where everybody is having to find fault right across, particularly to the predecessors. What the gentlemen of 47, 50, 60s had done to this country is something unimaginable. The 4 or 5 documents that Pandit Nehru had written, 3-4 documents that Mahatma Gandhi had written, etc., are great documents for today's youth to read and learn how they had seen the world and how they advised the successors to manage the situations as such. The country has a lot of future, positively. There is no question at all. With the modern thinking, there is always acceptance of every other thought processes, whether it be segmented religion-wise, whether it be segmented national position-wise, or geographically positioned from North Pole to South Pole. There's enough to learn. My suggestion to everybody else is never ever give up. Always interact with the next person, considering that he or she will be able to contribute to your thinking and improving your lifestyle and thinking parameters. Never ever consider anyone as an opponent. They are all your friends. They are all useful to you. Nobody is one who should be hated. Nobody is one who should be aggressively fought against. Open your mind. Go up to them. Find that a possibility for giving happiness to the other person to meet you. Enjoy his or her company yourself. That's it. That's it that you can gain from each other. And be thankful every day to that day or night.
ಇದು ಏಷ್ಯಾನೆಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿ.